This is how to install, calibrate, and control your SwitchBot Lock. So assuming that you've already unboxed your SwitchBot Lock, the first thing that you want to do is download and open the SwitchBot app. You will need to have an account in order to use this, so you can either create an account with your own credentials or use one of their quick sign-on options using Apple, Google, or Amazon. Once you're signed in on the home page here, in order to add the lock, you'll want to press the plus sign at the top, add device, and then just scroll down a little bit until you find lock and tap on that. Now you do want to make sure that your lock here is blinking blue via this status indicator light. If it's not blinking, you'll want to check this battery compartment just to make sure that there isn't a plastic tab preventing these from connecting. If there is no plastic tab, just take the batteries out and reinstall them, and that will trigger it to go into pairing mode. So once you've confirmed that, just press next on the app and it'll connect automatically via Bluetooth to your lock. From here, you can give your lock a name if you'd like to, and you can add it to a room. If you have the SwitchBot app set up where you have different rooms, this is also an option. And then just press next. Now, if you do have a SwitchBot hub, you can turn this on as well to enable cloud services, which gives you the ability to access your lock via things like Amazon Alexa, Google Home, or even via Siri if you have HomeKit. I do have the SwitchBot hub, so I will be turning this on. And then from here, the next step is installing this lock onto your door. So let's go ahead and do that now. All right, so now that we're here at the front door, the first thing you want to do is take the included wet wipe, and you'll just want to use this to basically clean the surface around where you're going to be installing the SwitchBot lock. This just makes sure that there's no dust or any debris that prevents it from sticking properly. With that now cleaned off, the next step will be to choose an adapter for your specific deadbolt. And as you can see, there are three options. It basically just goes from smallest to largest. These are the parts that actually engage with your deadbolt to make sure that it's turning back and forth. So you just want to choose the one of the three that is the best fit around your deadbolt. So for me, the medium-sized one is going to be the best fit because it fits pretty well around the deadbolt without too much slack. Once you choose the adapter, you will want to install it onto the lock itself, which it installs right here on the back end of where the turn is. And it will snap into place once it's installed properly. Next, you want to check what the best orientation will be for your lock on your specific door. Every deadbolt is a little bit different. Obviously, in my case, the turn is way at the bottom and you've got a lot of space here. You do want to stick it directly onto the door itself and not around the metal or any part of the actual deadbolt. So if I were to try to do this right side up, I mean, as you can tell, it's not going to line up at all. You can do this in any orientation. That includes sideways and upside down. So for me, upside down, there's not enough room due to the handle here. And right side up, it's going to run into the actual deadbolt, so I'm going to have to do it sideways on this installation. Now, if you do have an odd-shaped lock that you're trying to attach it to, you also do have the option of this accessory mounting plate. This is basically an extra piece that you can install if you do have an odd-shaped lock, just to make sure that your SwitchBot lock fits properly against it. Once you choose the orientation, the next step is actually taking off the battery cover of the lock. This just pulls right off. Once you've got this open, you'll see there is a metal mounting plate here that's screwed in. This is what you're going to be able to move to adjust how far your SwitchBot lock is from the door, just to make sure everything lines up properly. So grab your little screwdriver that comes with it, and you'll want to unscrew each of these 4 screws. Once you've got these unscrewed, you just want to do another dry fit onto your lock and extend this as far as you need to in order for it to be touching the door where it'll stick on properly, but also for it to reach your lock however you need it to. And once you've got it dry fit and set up how you need it, you just want to screw those screws back in at whatever height you end up choosing for your door. So with these screws now screwed in at the correct height for my door, the next step is to stick it onto the door. It obviously comes with your sticky tape already attached to the mounting plate. And they say to push this onto the door for 2 minutes just to make sure that it all sticks down properly. And as you're sticking this down, just make sure that you still have it all lined up properly at the correct height, just because once you push this down, it's probably not going to come off with any ease. And pro tip, especially if you're installing it sideways like I am, it's probably smart to get a level out just to make sure it's level with the ground. You are going to get a small magnet that acts as a door sensor, and they say to install this within 1.1 inches away from the SwitchBot lock for the best results. Once everything is installed, open back up the SwitchBot app and it will ask you to manually close the deadbolt. After you press next, it's going to ask you to do the reverse by unlocking the door. And that next button will be grayed out until you actually turn the device. It automatically detects it, so we'll hit next. And the next step is to actually open your door, turn the lock so it's closed, and then press it against the door frame tightly with the lock engaged. And then it'll do a final test here where you just pull it off slightly from the door and test that it unlocks properly. Now you want to close the door and make sure that it locks properly. And just like that, your SwitchBot lock is now calibrated. Controlling the SwitchBot lock is extremely simple. As you open it up here in the app, this button here gives you an easy way to either lock or unlock the door. You do have the ability to pair this to a keypad or a remote. Both are separate SwitchBot products that you'd have to buy separately if you want to. There is also a log built into the app that just keeps track of when the lock is used and at what times. This is very nice to have just so you can have a detailed record of how the door is being used. Otherwise, if you tap this gear icon at the top, you do have quite a few different settings you can do as well. In the basic settings, you can turn on or off the indicator light or the sound that plays whenever you use the lock. You can also turn off the notifications that happen on your phone when it's put to use as well. You can also customize your notifications to tweak it to how you'd like it. You can have it notify you when the door is manually used via the app, or automatically locks as well. This does also have some built-in features for door ajar or door left unlock notifications, just meaning that after 30 seconds, if the door is still open, it'll notify me via my phone, so I know that. And same with the door left unlocked. So if you have auto lock turned off and you leave the door unlocked, it notifies me after 2 minutes that the door's been unlocked, so I'm in the know. There is also an alerts tab. This actually gives you the same notifications, but physically in person. So if you leave the door open or if you leave it unlocked, after the set time frame that you choose, it'll actually start beeping on the physical lock on your door just to let you know in case you don't see your phone notification. Auto lock is definitely a feature I would recommend using as well. This is one of the greatest features of having a smart door lock because it gives you the ability to have the door lock automatically whether or not you remembered to do it yourself. Again, this can be tweaked within a certain amount of time, seconds or minutes, to have it automatically lock when you leave it open. Otherwise, as I mentioned before, if you have the SwitchBot Hub, you can also connect this lock to cloud services as listed here. So you can tell Alexa, for example, to close the door. And you do have the easy way to recalibrate the lock. So if it's not fully closing or fully opening and just not working properly, you can recalibrate it by going in the settings here. The last feature I wanted to mention is that this lock actually comes with 2 NFC tags in the box, which you can use to scan, for example, with your phone to have the door automatically lock or unlock whenever you scan it. And within the SwitchBot app, you can write the NFCs. It's very useful. So again, if you want to use NFCs, that is an option, and you do get the SwitchBot NFC tags that come with it. And there you have it. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, please consider subscribing to my channel. I make all sorts of tech content and I'd love to have you here. And if you did enjoy this video, I'm sure you'll love this one too. Thank you very much for watching.